Hello, so I got this Korg Nautilus AT recently used from Guitar Center, and it said it was in like new condition, and it really is. I mean, it looks like it was used for 5 minutes and sold back to Guitar Center. Everything's really clean on it. Um, but anyway, it was the AT version, and I've had several Korgs in the past, and I've always really liked the sounds of them. And the Nautilus, it seems like a really good solution because it's got all the sound engines of the Kronos. It's got set list mode, as you can see, which is extremely useful if you're playing live, which is what I plan to do with it in a cover band. So I was excited about it, but then I kept reading the reviews, and it took like 3 minutes to boot this thing up, or at least 2.5 minutes to 3 minutes roughly. Even brand new ones out of the box, even the AT version, which is the newer version. So that's kind of why I held off a little bit, but I'm like, man, I'm not going to spend another $2,000 just to get a Kronos 3, just to save three, really, even the Kronos takes about a minute to boot up. So it's like, you're only going to save a minute and a half, and I'm not financially in a place where I'm ready to spend $2,000 to save a minute and a half of my time. It's not that big of a deal. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger and got this thing anyway, because it was a good deal. And, I'm really excited about it. But what's really crazy is when I turned it on, I put a timer on it, a stopwatch, just to see how long it took. And it only took about 1 minute and 40 seconds to boot up. And so I kind of Googled it, looked in Gemini to see, am I crazy, or is this what they do now? And it was saying, no, that's pretty unique. None of them report to boot that fast, but it's possible Korg updated the SSD to a faster SSD on the newer models, which this would be. I'm sure it's a newer model. I know they've only been making the AT since early 2024. And, this has to have been out long enough for someone to buy it and return it. But anyway, that seems to be the case because it still boots up. And so I checked the firmware, and it boots up, or I'm sorry, the firmware was 1.3.2, and I noticed that there's 1.3.5 is the latest. So I downloaded it, and I updated the firmware. And even with the 1.3.5, it makes no difference. It's still booting up at 1 minute and 40 seconds or so. And if you go to, where is it, Global KSC Auto Preload, you can see it's loading up the whole preload KSC file, which is 23 gigabytes of data. I don't have it selected to partially load, only, to load up less data when it boots or anything like that. And so it's fully booted up right now, as you can see. Got it plugged into my amp over there. So I'm going to turn it off. Give it a second. I'm going to turn my tablet back on here so I have a timer. So it's turned off, completely off. And I'm gonna hit the button and hit the start on my timer, or stopwatch, I mean. And so that's going. This thing's booting up. And we're just gonna watch it, and I'm gonna prove that I'm not making this up and I'm not crazy. So about 17 seconds so far, 18, 20, still going. I was trying to wait till it said the firmware revision so you could see. I'm going to move this down here so I don't have to keep moving back and forth so much. You can see both at the same time. There we go. Now you can see it's 1.3.5. Loading the KSC file, the preload. Nothing special, it's just the factory sound banks. I don't have anything else downloaded yet. I'm sure when I do, that'll slow it down a little bit, but it's crazy that the starting point is so fast. Like, I had a million reasons to love this keyboard already, and that just gave me another strong reason. I mean, even my M3 took 1 minute and 20 seconds to boot up. It had the stereo grand as part of the boot up, so it's about 2/3 of the way there. 1:18, 19. It's getting there. I'm just going to stop the timer as soon as I can play sounds. It's getting close. Okay, maybe give or take a couple of seconds. I'm going to stop it. It's ready to go. Hello. Wasn't expecting that. But yeah, this thing's good to go. It was about 1:43 that time, but I mean, there was a little bit of lag time when I pushed the stop button and when it got fully loaded. So anyway, if you buy a newer AT, if you're concerned about the long boot up time, if you buy the newer AT version, apparently they have better hardware in them, because it made no difference when I updated the firmware. It didn't change anything at all. So that tells me it's not a software efficiency improvement that's making it boot faster. It's the it must be the hardware. And I know they didn't put a faster processor in it, but they definitely might have put a newer SSD that has just faster read times or something like that. So anyway, if you're holding back on buying a Nautilus, they're really, really awesome. It looks like a child that Kronos and a Chrome had a baby together. That's what it looks like. But yeah, it's a great keyboard. Don't hold back. Bye.